edge in, I think he can go through and take the victory.
It's definitely, and more mind games once again because it is a team match, but the first map has loaded, no one has dropped, and the players are ready to go. Good luck, have fun coming out, Snute.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have loaded onto the first map of the semi-final here at Gfinity G3, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Foxtrot Labs as the blue Terran player. Representing Team Liquid.net, we have Bunny. And his opponent, the Terran Killer, ladies and gentlemen, playing that absolutely epic series against MMA and coming out the victor, but how will his strategies work against his teammate here? Representing Team Liquid as well, we have Snute.
And of course, the map is going to be Foxtrot Labs LE, which is now full cross map position, so they know where each other spawns. So it's technically a 2-map, but of course, there's lots of bases and stuff to take. Swarm hosts could be popular. We could definitely have a very, very long game on our hands here.
Yeah, it's very possible. And I don't think that on map number 1, either player will feel the need to sort of come out with some sort of cheese or anything like that. But I agree with the analyst desk that at some point during the series, Bunny might actually try, even though he's not a 2-Rax kind of guy, to do something against Snute. For those of you who are wondering why that might actually be the case, well, these guys are practicing with each other day in and day out. They are constantly talking strategy and swapping ideas. They don't prepare that much for situations where they expect to meet each other in tournaments.
And then also, Snute, in my opinion, has a really bad...
Oh, sorry about that. We're having a couple of audio issues at the moment. It should be resolved right about now. There we go. Can hear you again, mate.
Yeah.
And we've got natural expansion coming down now for Snute. And as he predicted, perhaps, from his movements inside the booth, we've got the Reaper coming out there from Bunny.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, I believe... Fantastic. And I believe, because Snute is very bad against 2-Rax just in general, that's why he lost to an MMA in the second game.
Sure, yep.
So it's definitely something to throw out there and just get an easy win, in my opinion. Like, rarely ever see Snute hold the 2-Rax, and I see him, well, I cast him out a lot, so it says...
Wow, that is a hefty percentage right there. 80% of you guys online and in the audience are voting for a Snute victory here over Bunny. Bunny only grabbing 20% of the vote. And those are preliminary results. If you want to be adding your opinion as well, guys, don't forget to get on Twitter, hashtag G3Snute and G3Bunny for who you think is going to walk away with this series win.
Yes, come on, guys, go support your Terran too. And this Reaper's just going to not really get much damage, trying to get that drone, but a spawn will get made, and it's just going to get denied. But it is on creep, so he has to be careful against the Zerglings and will just jump down. But second Reaper is going across the map, and we have a third one in production, which third Reaper normally goes well with a Hellbat time in.
Yep. Let's see if he ends up bringing all those together and trying to get some damage down. I love how the Lings are there. He's waiting for the Reaper to come back up. He knows this is going to happen. Excellent positioning there from Snute. Very, very much denied. That's a good example of practicing with someone and going, I know you do this kind of thing. I'm going to preempt it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's Reactor again added on. We'll see the factory as well. And of course, we have the command center on the low ground. He should go for a third, and yeah, he does add it on right now. So he's going to go for a very macro-oriented play, and of course we've already seen these players play today, so we know what type of things they like to do, and that does add into what we can expect to see from him. And Zergling's in the right place yet again.
Oh my goodness, this is just so sick. Those Zergling positioning, unbelievable from Snute here, guys. And these guys clearly know each other's game. 2 Reapers already going down. Yes, they've killed 1 worker, but 1 worker for 2 Reapers is not a trade you want to be making right now. And Bunny cannot be happy with that. Snute seems to have completely read his mind this game so far. Beautiful play here from our Team Liquid Zerg.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like instead of actually the Hellbat timing, it could go into something like a Cloak Banshee. We will have to wait to see exactly where it goes. So he only has 1 gas, so it shouldn't really be Cloak Banshee as opposed to just the Banshee timing he did against TLO, I believe, on the second map. And Zergling speed has finished, so the Reaper is a little bit slower. It gets surrounded.
Wow.
There's nothing to defend the natural.
And this is just exemplary play coming out here from Snute. The SCV train can't get back into the base because the Zerglings would be invited along with them. Has to be so careful. The first couple of Hellions, though, should be able to repel this for now. But Bunny's being really rattled at this point, Pewee.
Yeah, absolutely. And instead of going after the Hellions, Jason gets the guaranteed damage of the depot. Same cost as the Hellions, so nice little vibe. And the depot is down, but nice. Gets it just in the nick of time, and the rest of the Hellions come out, and that's cool. but that was spotted. The cloak wasn't being researched, so that didn't get checked. And he's not going for it just yet, and with one gas, I wouldn't expect it either. So, actually, he didn't see the stop, he just saw the tech lab.
Yeah, and a third base already coming down here for Snute. He's going to be pretty happy with how the opening has panned out for him, to be honest. And I think those Snute fans who have predicted him to win, maybe it's a bit premature to say, but as far as game one goes, he's looking all right.
There's a hole in the wall.
We can turn this around with a little bit of barbecue, ladies and gentlemen. And Snute has said before he's a little bit weak against those flames, but an excellent surround there from those Zerglings. Picks one, picks two Hellions off, and the third one is going to go down as well.
Oh, look at that drone.
Wow.
Just locks it down at the perfect angle and easily held.
Hero drone, both players here trying their hardest, but I have to say, Snute, it feels like he's got Bunny's number. It just, everything about the opening of this game has said Snute's effectively reading his mind right now.
Beam nest as well. So this must be something very specific, because you don't really see it that often unless you're expecting a lot of Hellbats or something like that, or a lot of Hellions, Blue Flame Hellions, something.
Yeah, he's going
maybe
for
that's
this,
what he
man.
thought it was. It was a Blue Flame Hellion.
Well, there are Banelings here, and he's making roaches now as well. So I wonder if he's just going to try and knock down the front door. The Banshee, though, coming into the base. Spore Crawler will get made there, and the Queen should be able to repel this. A couple of workers going down right now, but the worker count, I mean, it's still 42 to 31. So Snute is cutting his drone production. He's going to try and go for this big attack. Let's see how much damage it can do.
You really can. We do need to see a swarm of Zerglings if he wants to go for the Banelings. Of course, they got Zergling speed. They're going to go faster across the map and reinforce. We do have 1-1 with the melee attack as well for the Zerg. So it looks like he wants to carry on going for this. And he loves mutas, which go very well with Zerglings anyway. But the roaches and the Zerglings are arriving. There is no wall off, so he can walk freely into the natural.
This is
the
trouble.
Banelings.
Army supply 37 to 15 right now. More supply depots getting taken down as well, which makes it really difficult for Bunny to reinforce. The natural expansion is in shambles, ladies and gentlemen. A large number of workers going down here. And how much damage can he do? Great hold position, Micro, and the SCVs, though, preventing the army from getting inside the main.
More Banelings are moving in, but the Banshee did pick off the two that were finished, and there's a lot of SCVs getting picked off. It's 23 v 44, so he must have just killed about 20 workers, and the natural is forced to lift off. And this is a lot of damage behind this. He's just drawn in, so he's getting a macro advantage, and he's justified.
That supply depot. That supply depot getting repaired. The Banelings aren't going to quite be enough. He goes in via the tech lab, the reactor, pardon me, you're right. And now, oh my goodness, he's inside the main base, but only just. That was the last Baneling as well. That's how close this attack is.
Look at the supplies. It's 32 v 76, 16 v 61 army supply right now in Snute's favor. The Banshee, of course, is going to be able to clean all this up. But at what cost? Everything on the ground could fall before then.
This is disastrous for Bunny right now. He came so close to holding it, preventing those units from getting into the base, but it wasn't enough. And Liquid Snute, ladies and gentlemen, takes a one-game lead.
That was very well calculated by Snute. That felt like he knew exactly what to do to break Bunny type of play. That was really well calculated. He did slip up. I think he thought it was a Blue Flame Hellion double factory play. That's why he had no spores.
Sure, right?
So I think that's why he went for that. And then when
he saw the factory on its own without the starport. Yeah, exactly.
So maybe he thought it was a Blue Flame Hellion because of that. Because as soon as he saw the Banshee built the spores, and he had the roaches, which I think forced him into the counterattack. But either way, that was very well played. And the ramp was wide open. No wall. Easy.
I have to say, though, that's the kind of game where if you saw a pro player, obviously who aren't teammates, playing against each other in something like WCS finals, where it feels like everything you're trying to do gets countered. You saw the Zerglings on top of the cliffs with the Reaper positioning, not once, but twice.
Right.
And the way that they're able to, completely block off the Hellions as well, so that the barbecue didn't really work for Bunny. If that just keeps happening to you again and again and again, that really is the kind of game that makes you think, oh goodness, what do I try now?
Yeah.
What do I even do?
Absolutely. There were some good timings as well from Bunny when the Zerglin, little, 8 Zerglings, whatever, they picked off the depot, he raised the depot just in the nick of time, and then the 2 Hellions popped to save the natural. That was a big deal, because otherwise he would have lost 2 meals, an extra 4 SCVs. Eventually he did lose, so it doesn't matter, but...
I mean, Bunny looks a little bit lost right now, almost. He's sort of sitting in his booth, contemplating, regathering his thoughts here. He does have a little bit of a break because Snute has gone for a bathroom break. But if we're Bunny right now and we're thinking to ourselves, goodness, all of these things that I do, my teammate is obviously completely on top of and knows how I play. He's thinking about how to mix it up. Are we finally going to see that 2 racks in game number 2?
We might. The second map is going to be Nimbus, so it's a 4-player map. So we only have King St. John's Station, really, as the 2-player map.
Yeah.
We just had Foxtrot, so you can maybe done it then.
Maybe Merry-Go-Round?
Maybe. In the center of the map,
and then Dead Wing's the last map, so I'm not really sure,
You could go for a double racks in the center of the map on merry-go-round with a double scout.
Yeah.
Just, you scout there. If it's not there, he's at the other one. And that's not a huge map, so you could get away with it there. But don't forget, guys, you can still vote for who you think to win. It was 2080.
I wonder if it's like more skewed in Snoot's favor now, because game number 1 was actually quite convincing. You can go on Twitter, you can hashtag G3Snoot and also G3Bunny for who you want to win. And don't forget as well, of course, this tournament being put on by Gfinity. When these guys aren't playing in the booths next to us, you can also go online and play with them. Very, very easy to hop onto gfinity.net, completely new website. You create a profile, you join tournaments, and you get involved. It's that simple. And there's £30,000 of prize money every single month on offer. So completely free to join. And you can be mixing it up in the first couple of rounds or further if you fancy your chances against some of these big boys as well. So many of them at this tournament are on the website and playing regularly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're winning a lot of money as well. I think, I think we get more people in to stop them, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, First has won the last 3. And they're £250 cups, so the 1v1s. We will have four £4,800 leagues.
Okay,
soon. We'll have like 3 of them a week actually. And what happens is you play. It's a best of 3 with 8-man group round robins. Top 2 go into a bracket, and then they play for the 4,800.
That sounds awesome, especially if you have like higher end leagues that could just be cast on their own as well. Like those would just be really competitive games.
And it makes it exciting. And Snute, when we done the Elite Division, which was a few months ago that we casted, he loved the format. 6-man group of round robin produces a lot of exciting games, and
his rivalry with MMA as well back in the Gfinity Elite Division. I believe we might have been casting those as well.
And that was a really good game because he was starting to go swarm. He was like, I think that was when he was perfecting the swarm host style.
He was still experimenting at that point. Yeah.
Because it had a bit of Roach Hydra. As I was talking to Bunny and Taylor about it earlier. Because it's a really new style.
It's a nice evolution to be able to see him experimenting with it back then, technically as part of Gfinity as well, and then for him to come to this tournament and almost unleash it upon the world. But he hasn't needed to use that yet.
Not yet.
No, not just yet. Guys, we're going to be hopping into game number 2 here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on Nimbus. Spawning in the bottom left position as the red Zerg player, representing Team Liquid, and currently a game up after effectively predicting his opponent's every move in game number 1. What's going to change now? Are we going to see more of the same? It's Liquid Snute. And the player, after game number 1, maybe with a little bit of thinking to do, but I'm sure as all of you remember, he has played some really good games throughout this tournament, and we are convinced that he will be able to come back and show us an amazing one here. Can he level the series at 1-all? It's also Team Liquid's Bunny.
Everyone's cheering for him.
He's got a good amount of support. I mean, he's just played some excellent, solid games this tournament. And what Snute did in game number 1 is basically, I wouldn't quite say get into his head. That sounds a bit you normally do aren't going to work here. So if you're going to be solid, start thinking of creative things, is kind of what Snute has put down as a message. And it looks like Bunny here. I mean, just going to go for a little bit of macro, going to grab that CC first. Of course, a lot easier to take on this map as well.
So much easier to defend. Easy to wall off your ramp. Of course, the rocks aren't going to get taken out that early, so you're perfectly safe to do this. And he will skip his rebuzz because of this. You don't really need them, and by the time you would get them out, certain speed could be done. So it's a bit riskier. And he's just going to should go up to Reactor Hallion. He, I believe, went for a Banshee earlier when he did a CC first against TLO. So I'm expecting that again.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar to the last game, but with a CC first.
Well, there are advantages and disadvantages of this, of course. On Nimbus, you can see that the natural expansion, the only ramp leading into it really comes from the main base. So you're not looking at any rocks that aren't part of the original. You've just got one little space to defend, and as Funker is pointing out to us, Bunny rather, basically has that covered already. The disadvantage to having this kind of in-base natural as well, bear in mind, it's surrounded by an awful lot of air. In the future, we're going to be seeing Mutalisks potentially harassing this location. We see drops, we see Banshees potentially on the other side of the map as well. And that means that later on, when the players go into that more macro game, we have more options to be more dynamic, more aggressive, more multi-pronged attacks. And that's kind of the style of play that this map promotes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also promotes a greedy early game as well. So it kind of, it's a calm early and then everything kind of explodes.
Yeah. And to be
exciting.
honest, if we had to think about it like that, that's actually the kind of style of play that Snute's a big fan of, right? I think we should talk about that. Yeah.
And kind of Bunny to an extent as well. He's, when I think of Bunny, he's a solid macro-oriented Terran who revolves around mechanics. You rarely see him cheese or anything like that. You will throw him out. You've always got to have them in your arsenal. But for the most part, he's a very straightforward player.
And we've got the bunker going down now near the wall here for Bunny. Of course, nowhere near his natural, because that doesn't need defending at this point of the game. And we simply have the reactor going down. So like you said, probably going into those Hellions very shortly. Nothing out of the ordinary here at all. And in the meantime, that quick third base being taken here from Snute.
Yeah, so he, once again, this is probably them knowing each other very well, knowing that he always goes for a CC first on this map, and he's just getting that third very fast. But there is factory and then an extra 2 racks, so quite fast. He's not going for a starport, and he's not going for a third command center, so he wants to be a bit hyper-aggressive here.
Yeah, I think Bunny might end up mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, it should be a tech lab on this rack once he swaps it over, get the stim on that, and then double produce the Marines, and then hit with a very good time in. And you normally get your faster, much faster medevacs, so you can do a faster time in with them as well.
Well, we'll have to see at what point the starport comes down as well, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Right now, it looks like he's just gearing up to make an awful lot of units to go for a bit of timing attack. And I wonder if it's because he anticipates this response from Snute as well. Maybe, he goes, oh, hang on a second, Snute knows. Ooh, oh, wow, guys, check out those poll results.
The Terrans are voting.
The Terrans have woken up and they've started to vote. Maybe some people are thinking Bunny's going to be able to rally after game number 1, increasing 12% to 32 now. Little bit less confident that Snute's just walking away with this at this point. So that's interesting. Keep voting, of course. Hashtag G3Bunny and G3Snute.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is getting really funky. Now, Snute, I don't like. He went for a Baneland last game, so I don't know if this is reactionary, if it's a standard or a precaution. But it would go well against what Bunny's doing, because he's going to have a lot of Marines. You should go, Tech Lab, double reactor, which we can see in production, and then he should go. Yeah, this should actually do really well against it if he gets the Banelands and they connect.
Double reactor on these 2 additional barracks here. That's a lot of firepower that's going to be coming out for Bunny very shortly. A little bit supply blocked at the moment, admittedly, but just a small bump. He's got 2 supply depots finishing up now and building a third one just in case. I like that idea. And yeah, this is, he's probably going to time it with +1 attack as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The number of Marines, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, it is. And also, if you notice, he's gone for a single eBay, because he can't really afford to go for the double.
What has Snute seen with this scout, Pewee?
Oh, he sees everything that he needs. So he doesn't know how long the racks have been there exactly, so he doesn't know if there's a third, but he should have it indicated based on how many Hellions there are as well.
He did, yeah, he did see 3 barracks. I think now Snute's going, hang on a second, this doesn't look very normal. I thought maybe I would see a starport there or something. That's not the case right now. I need Larva to prepare for this attack. Down goes the macro hatch. Time to get serious about this
as well.
Wow, he's really getting his count up to almost 70 right now.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Needs to be a little bit wary in attack. That's a lot of Hellions that are coming down right now.
Yeah, we need some circles being produced. There we are. We do have 14 Eve. As soon as these finish up, he should morph quite a few of them into Banelands. I'm pretty certain he knows what will be coming. Of course, they know how each other play. There are 4 Banelands here, so if they get a good connection, they can easily clean up these Hellions. But look at the Zerglings get fried by them before they even close the distance.
Yeah, nice little cute pick off there as well. Managing to get a queen early on in the engagement from Bunny. 2 more. Wow, this guy is serious, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going up to 5 racks. This is 2 base production. He's still only on the single eBay.
Oh, needs to be careful here with these Hellions. He doesn't want them surrounded. There are some Banelings behind that could end up doing a lot of damage here. And +1 is just completed. We've got the first medevacs out on the field as well. You guys can see on the mini-map there's a little string of blue marching towards that red corner of the map.
Yeah, it's now, I don't believe Bunny knows about the 4th base just yet, so if he does spot that, he can easily pick that off, pick up, go to the 3rd base, or the natural rather, and harass that. It's a long distance for Snute to run around. There's a lot of Banelands morphing in, which Snute does need, and he doesn't have Baneland speed yet.
No Baneling speed, and the Spire has only just started as well, Pewee. This could end up being really difficult for the Zerg to hold, trying to surround with the Zerglings. Doing a great job so far. An excellent second Baneling hit, actually, means that this attack from Bunny is all of a sudden looking a lot more blunt.
It really is. He needs to know about that 4th base, because that would, he'd go up there, snipe that, and he would feel a little bit happy. Like I say, he could jump into the natural, and there's so many Zerglings here, he's got to force to pick up and fly away.
Yeah, this is not turning out the way Bunny wanted it to, guys. He had a ridiculous number of units. He had the +1 complete as well. But as soon as he moved on to creep, even with those slow banelings...
Oh no, you know what he's going for.
Oh man, he's going to be transitioning into that style. I don't know, man. Like, Snute, he knew that he didn't have baneling speed. He was focusing purely on wrapping his Zerglings around the bio because he knew that the banelings wouldn't get there in time. It was just a nice decision from him. And Bunny now, I mean, he's going to try and get a consolation base here, but there's a lot of units out for Snute.
It's too late. The Zerglings have forced them all the way back. The banelings are getting closer, and he's got to pick up. Because you cannot fight that, as baneling speed does finish up. The +1 for the mutas has now started before any mutas are even produced. So that's a nice, to get those upgrades going is very good.
It is
and respawn calls as the defensive measure. There is a tank here as well, which can deal with the banelings, but that's a lot of banelings rolling forward. They're going to just detonate on the tank, and Zerglings will finish it off.
Wow, that was ambitious there from Snute. I mean, obviously after holding off that attack, he was in a good position, but rolling those banelings in off of creep into that tank fire as well, possibly not the most efficient trade he could have taken. And now we have a small band of Marine here, basically walking in unopposed, so this is going to be the penalty that Snute pays. He's frantically trying to get some Zerglings out, but these Marines are being so cost-effective right now.
Absolutely, the greediness of Snute is starting to pay him back now. Is this 40 army supply V60, and the work count is massively in his favor, but there's not that many units here. The Queens are coming down, but the reinforcements are dealing with them. Banelings cleaning up the Marines, and there is another tank. Look at the reinforcements streaming across the map, and this is going to be very, very hard.
It is. There are just about enough Zerglings to surround these Marines. No, but there are 5 more coming out. That siege tank is seriously doing work in the back there. And all of a sudden, Bunny has gone, hang on a second, where's my Marine key? I'm going to hold it down for a little bit and apply this sustained pressure. Snute brought so many banelings out into the middle of the map there, off of creep, into that tank fire, and it's really starting to bite him now. Bunny might be fighting back here in game number 2.
It looks like he's so dedicated to mining with his resources because there's this is near enough an all-in, so he's not scanning to even clean up the creep. So he's got to be milling back at home because he needs these resources. And this is getting so close. Good baneling connections to the tank. I believe got cleaned up, and they're almost streaming across the map, but he needs them now, and only now is the first muta starting when +1 will soon finish.
Yeah, and I think that delay, yeah, it might be too late here, I agree. He's getting the tech inside the main base. The drones are being pulled. GG! And we have a 1-all situation. Bunny is not going to take that first defeat lying down. He's saying, you want me to switch it up, mate? Okay, I can switch it up here. Let's see how you handle this.
Very aggressive.
But I tell you what, though, Snute almost did handle it. We have to give him credit for that.
He really did. I don't think he would have expected maybe the 4th and 5th racks to get added on, because that really ramps up his production. You're looking at 9 Marines per cycle, and then he had it in tanks as well, and it was tanks. Tanks of... the Widow Mines are normally more popular, so... It's
tricky to imagine what the game would have been like had Snute not gone for that, I'm going to try and clear up your entire army off of creep, because he had more than 10 banelings committed to that attack. So imagine if he just sat back on creep and waited for the tank to come forward and try and attack him on creep. It could have been a different result.
Absolutely, because when he fought off creep, that's when he defended the 4th and then pushed him all the way back, where he should have just defended the 4th, pushed him back, got a staging point, and then waited again. He did pick off a tank with that thing, but eventually it wasn't enough.
All right, well, we're going to be hopping into King Sejong Station in just a moment. Map number 2. Now, of course, as far as 2-player maps goes, this is a pretty big one.
It is.
So it's perhaps less likely that we're going to see something like an 11-11 come out of Bunny here, but he's going to find a confidence boost coming out of that game. We spoke briefly before, I think, before the series started, about momentum. And what that game was all about was breaking Snute's momentum, because honestly, guys, if Snute won that game, it's easy to say he's favored to win the series, but I would just say overwhelmingly, he just steamrollers and goes on to win a 3-0.
That's a really good point, because that was near enough an all-in, so he was very aggressive. He wanted the win, he wanted the momentum for himself, and he could go proxy. A double proxy racks on this map is very unlikely, but proxy Reaper is very, very possible, as we've already seen from the Muslim.
Well, I guess we'll find out, ladies and gentlemen, because we are here on game number 3 as... No! Okay, he's back. Don't worry, we can go into the game. No, we can't. Funka has disappeared. Funka's off to ladder, guys. Don't even worry about it. He's taking a short break.
He needs to get into Masters now.
I tell you what, man. Funka, if you had to pick someone from all of us here on the various desks, hosting and stuff like that, he's the one guy who hasn't had a break all weekend. What an incredible guy. You never see him on camera because he's back there behind the curtain somewhere. So guys, please show your appreciation for Funka, who's still continuing to do a great job.
He even apologizes for leaving the game like it was his own fault or something. He's like, sorry guys, my PC died.
We've got the semi-finals and finals to go, and he's still continuing to do a tip-top job.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for that. No problem. We'll just hop straight back into the game. Now the series is back on level terms. Has the momentum swung Bunny's way? What's Snute thinking right now?
That's a good question, actually. It's definitely going to be in Bunny's favor. And Snute is one of those players who, I wouldn't say he was a nervous player or anything like that, but I believe a lot of his confidence shows how he plays. So if he's lacking his confidence, you can see it very heavily. And he's also quite harsh on himself as well. So I think he might be a little bit more aggressive again.
Okay.
I think Swarm hosts, pretty
Swarm
much.
host.
I think he
Will we get there?
Yeah.
Is the question.
That's a good point.
We're about to find out, ladies and gentlemen, because we have loaded on King Sejong Station, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as the blue Terran player representing TeamLiquid.net. The winner of game number 2. He's stopped the rot, and he's starting the pull by the looks of things. It's Bunny.
Oh, yes.
And on the receiving end of some special tactics, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about how this is a bigger map. It's a little bit more unexpected. Maybe that's why. It's because they're teammates. Can this guy stop it? It's Liquid Snute.
And yes, as we can see, there is a blue dot moving upwards towards the map. And this is in a... Oh my god, he's actually going for a double. Wow, I did not expect this. And they're quite hidden. They're not going to get scouted.
Look at that second Overlord as well. It's like, he probably won't make it all the way out there. Oh, or will he? Oh
my god.
Oh, that is sick, man. That pathing on that Overlord. I mean, he knows.
He knows where Bunny puts it. And like a Turax is so rare. Like you rarely ever see a Turax on this map. It's not a pull first. So
it's not a pull first, yeah.
You know, as I've said multiple times, Snute never holds Turax. He has a very, very hard time. Even when he, like I've seen him with a massive advantage off a Turax,
right,
and he'll still somehow lose. Well, the next follow-up.
You said he's a bit of an, if he's a nervous player, this is a great way to apply pressure to him. He's got the pool after that. It's not going to be like, he's changed the pathing. I think he'll still see it though. He should still see this. What is the moment where Snute's going to spot that something is going, hey, what's the SCV doing there? Follow the SCV. No, that trick doesn't work. He spots one barracks, he spots the second one, and now Snute knows what's up.
Oh yes, and he did build a gas there. He's just cancelled it, realizing he's not going to need it. The drones are coming down to stop the SCV building that bunker, which is a massive deal here. And he's got, I believe it's 3 workers per SCV that you want, or Marine, so he's got enough here to definitely deal with this. There's 2 SCVs though. Oh, there's 3 more coming. It's not like all the boys are coming.
No, not quite yet. This isn't quite sort of the Muslim level of hype just yet, but he's certainly very serious with this attack. Both players know what's at stake here. Snute pulling a lot of workers down to the natural long before he's got like 2 left mining at home.
And this is where I believe he always maybe overacts. And he as we see, we've got 2 in the main, so we've got like 16 workers in the natural. The bunker is added on, great placement with the Marines, and the SCV is following them around to stop the buffering.
Oh my goodness, this positioning is great from Bunny as well. He's prepared to hold position the SCVs, but we do actually have, wow, he's got the Zerglings coming down as well. It's a massive party. The number of hats on my screen now is ridiculous. Can these Marines kite them back? That's a lot of drones there. Are the SCVs going to be able to shield them? I don't know. They're not in front of the Marines.
They're not, and so much lost mining time right now from the drones. He's running back to the bunker of the Marines. They get surrounded. Is he going to stop them getting into it? It looks like he will.
Oh my god, Snute. This is so close, but what great micro from Snute there, stopping the Marines getting into the bunker. You know what, you've got 2 bunkers here, mate, but what have you got left to put in them? And all of a sudden, Bunny is now, he's feeling the pressure now. He needs to try and get some units in there before they go down.
He really does. There's only 2 Marines. There's the 3rd one not far behind the drones are coming up. He can stop them completely if he surrounds the bunkers, and he does have enough units to do that. It's all about making sure he has enough Zerglings, but he doesn't have enough resources because he's bringing them all off the line.
Oh, he's waiting till the Marines get into the middle of the map, and then he just chases them all the way. Yes, there's a lot of lost mining time here, but he's killing a lot of Marines, and that's what's important right now. But he's going very, very far, all the way back to the barracks here. Snute wants to shut this down and shut it down for good, but has he moved too far with too many workers? What is the worker situation like? It's 12-9 in the Terran player's favor.
Yeah, exactly. All the workers have been killed on the other side of the map for Bunny, so it's only the 13 mining back at home with a meal, which does give him a nice efficiency. But the bunkers are pretty much dead. The Marines are not going to get into it, and for now, Snute does hold that. 11
workers and 12 Lings lost this game on the Zerg side. Oh, he snuck one in. He managed to get a single Marine into the bunker at the end of it. But so much has been lost on both sides. We've got though the command center here as well coming down. And Marines 2 and 3. Has Snute stopped this too early? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he realized that there were still Marines streaming over. I thought maybe he thought that Bunny was going to lift up and go back because he had some Zerglings there to finish it off.
He saw the first two Marines and he was like, I think he wanted to let them pass, go for the barracks and kill everything that got produced. So he only has to deal with 3 in his natural. But they're doing damage. They're killing drones and the hatchery can still fall.
Yeah, I think now this game might end up being Bunnies to lose
it's
because
13 v 26 supply.
That's the problem. It's 17 v 8 workers right now, and you know what his larvae have to be used for? They have to be used for Zerglings. They need to try and take out this bunker, and they're possibly not going to be able to even.
2-1 Bunny.
Wow! After such an amazing initial hold there from Snute, the relentless pressure there from Bunny takes game number 3, and it's now 2-1.
And this is also an important game for Snute as well, guys, because the runner-up in the finals gets 500 WCS points.
Yeah.
That will bump Snute from 1,625 to 2,125, which gives him a 25-point advantage over Pig Baby in the top 16. So that's a big deal.
That's pretty crucial. You need to get that invite into the last 16 in the global finals.
Exactly, and that is a big deal. Whereas Bunny's sitting around 550th rank with 800 points.
800 points, yeah.
So like I was speaking to him earlier, he's not too fussed on the points. He's happy. He's already won $3,000. Of course, it bumps up to, I believe, like $8,000. So that's a lot of money.
It is.
And he's one game away.
He is one game away. And I feel a little bit for Snute because that was such a great play. Some fantastic Starcraft to prevent those Marines getting into the bunkers initially. And then how many workers did he pull to go all the way back to the barracks, and how many extra ones? I think that might have been a bit too much.
I think so, because he got this around the Marines, which was absolutely amazing.
So
great
good.
unit control. And then he's like, just kill the bunkers. Just kill the bunkers, add on a spine or something like that, but carry on mining. And then, like, what Bunny would probably do it then is something maybe like build like a lot of Marines, like 15 Marines or something, and then maybe bring the boys as well. And just go for it. You
have to at that point. Like
near enough. It's so hard to come back from that if Snute holds, and he did a great hold, but he overcommitted, lost a lot of workers.
The advantage as well of getting that spine crawler down when you're just taking out the bunkers instead is that all of a sudden you don't have to spend all your larvae on Zerglings, which is kind of what we saw in a bit of a desperate situation at the end. The number of workers was just not enough because he had to bring those Lings in to defend.
And also it's like a last line of defense as well. You know, the Terran is not going to commit until he wants to attack. So, he doesn't have to bring off his drones to, like when the units move forward, he brought his drones and he's like, they're posturing each other. If he doesn't do that, he has a spine. He can leave them mining. He doesn't lose the mining time. And like I said, Snute doesn't hold 2 racks, so he does need to start working on this. And a lot of people take advantage of it.
And you can see actually on your screens right now, just the change in body language between Snute sort of before the match, after the first game, and now. He's a player that definitely wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah,
he's a professional,
he really does.
and he's been here for a while. That's not us saying, oh, it's going to affect him ridiculous amounts and he's going to crumble or anything like that. But you can certainly tell how he's feeling.
Yeah.
And he loves his StarCraft, and you can see it.
He's also a fantastic player as well, and he's one of the genuinely nicest people I've had the honor of meeting in esports. That's
great,
There's a reason he's been invited to this in the elite division as well. It's because he's so well-mannered and he's also such a good player, and they just obviously complement each other.
It definitely does. I mean, I haven't met a person who's met Snute and not liked him.
Yeah, it's like Robbie.
He's just one of those players, and it is great to see him here. And, well, now he's going to have to win 2 games in a row to take it.
My prediction was wrong. What do you see? 3-2 Bunny?
I said no matter what, it'd be a 3-1. And
so
I went
Bunny
3-1 Bunny. So if Bunny might win this, but are we going to see a game 5? Do you think?
Oh, I would hope so. I think so. I don't know exactly what Snoot's going to do. It's merry-go-round. It's a 3-play map. Like we said, you can 2 racks on this map. Do it in the center. It's less than expected.
Maru style.
Yeah,
we could see it.
Absolutely.
But would Bunny do it 2 games in a row? That's the question.
Yeah, like he's just won with it, so he's going to, pretty happy. Like, I guess to an extent you feel a bit harsh. Like, you just cheesed your teammate for a win there. So I don't think he would do it again. But you never know, get that guaranteed win.
It's going to be pretty difficult. But you know what? I think the series is still very much on the edge. It's very much alive. And Bunny's feeling okay, but he's probably not feeling great yet. He knows who he's playing against. He knows it's his teammate, especially after game number 1, where his every move was kind of counteracted by Snute. And he goes, okay, now I need to think of something different again in game number 4.
And also, to an extent, the pressure is kind of on Bunny. He's he's still an up-and-comer in my opinion. He's a great player, but he hasn't had many like final show-ins where it's...
I'll tell you what, he might get one now.
He might. He's looking good. And
we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, because we have spawned onto merry-go-round here for game number 4 of this potential best of 5, and spawning at the 6 o'clock position as the red Zerg player, currently down 2-1 with his amazing ZVT so far this tournament. He's going to have to pull it off 2 games in a row. Please get behind Liquid Snute. The crowd want to see a game 5.
I want to see the polls, man.
But don't forget, in the top right-hand corner, in the 2 o'clock position,
he's doing it.
He's done an incredible amount of good StarCraft this tournament, and he's playing mind games with his teammate. His play has basically been faultless. Can he do it one more time? Let's hear you for Liquid Bunny. Oh wow, he's got some fans after that game. After that game 3, man.
He really has, and he's going for it.
Oh, snap.
He's
doing it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 games in a row.
This is pretty ballsy. You gotta give him credit. This is an all-in, this is breaking moment. So he's just gotta go for it.
And the Overlords are not going to be spotting this, but oh man, oh man, oh man. We have ourselves some more fireworks here. Now don't forget though, Snute, in that last game, he defended it brilliantly. 2 bunkers completed, ladies and gentlemen. Like normally one might complete, you might get another one attempted or something like that. And you know what? He completed 2, and Snute said, actually, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're just never getting there. And it was such a great initial defense.
It really was.
Once he recognizes this is coming, he's going to have to do it again.
That micro is so hard to do, to surround a Marine like he did. Now, a big thing that will come into play, Snute scouted it last game, he's not going to scout it this game. So that does give him, Bunny, a big advantage, because the drones are not going to be in the natural ready to intercept that SCV. Now, if the Overlord, sadly the first Overlord went in the wrong location, so the second one is going to get there too late to spot the lack of Raxes.
Yeah, it's...
Rax, rather. Wait,
oh,
okay, there's a couple of the boys.
we can't bring all of them, but we will bring some of them.
He grabbed a couple of them and then sent them back to the mineral patch, and there's already a Marine here.
Big difference between this game and last game. This was roughly the time when Snute saw it coming in the last game. Guys, that hatchery does not have vision of this bunker right now, and now it does. And Snute, he's going to be reacting a little bit slower.
He's mining gas as well.
This, I mean, he's got 6 lings on the way, he's got both queens. Now is the time to basically be calm and do exactly what he's building a spine crawler this time, but it's on the high ground here. He's getting a second one as well.
I like this decision. Maybe he might just sacrifice the natural and play from a bit of a deficit. To an extent, Bunny is out of deficit if it was a standard game, but he will be quite happy with he'll have a chunk of Marines there, if he's send them back. And there is a queen coming into the natural, so maybe he's just gonna unburrow the 2 spines, run them down ramp, get all the Zerglings, maybe the drones, go for one massive hold.
He's playing this very differently. Wow. And by the way, guys, I like the positioning of the 3rd bunker as well. Oh, great play from both sides. First of all, the 3rd bunker, I think is in a position where the spine crawler can't hit it from the high ground if he got it there. Maybe in the corner he can hit it. And then secondly, we have the creep tumor being dropped by the queen as well behind the hatchery to prevent the creep receding.
Exactly. This is really smart. Well, and of course, he doesn't have a transfuse if he did need it, but spine crawlers do outrange him. Marines have 5 range plus 1 from the bunker. Is nothing against the 7 range of the spines.
All right,
and there's a Baneland nest, so he is going to use this gas. He's not going to. He is going for the speed as well. So if he breaks this, which is a high possibility, he's just going to go for a heavy counterattack with Banelands and go for an all-in.
Snute is, I mean, that last game was really good, even though he lost it in the end, his initial defense. And this game, he's taking a completely different approach. He's saying, fine, have the hatchery. I know how much you are investing in this attack, and I'm just going to be very patient with my spine crawlers. Look at those lings at the top of the ramp just waiting.
I think we might just completely run around the bunkers. If he went all the way around the edge, there's not that much damage that will be dealt to the Zerglings.
He'll have a wall by the time, though, because the barracks are flying back.
But there's no units there to defend.
That's right, yeah.
So this is...
So you'll have to repair and get Marines out.
Yeah, and he's saving all the Zerglings so they don't get spotted. And look, I'm pretty sure you can run around that bunker without getting hurt on the right-hand side.
Oh, here we go.
He's just going to run through them anyway. He doesn't care. He's got Baneland nest, and he does have 200 gas, which is 8 Banelands.
Okay, so this is going to be with the Banelings as well. Let's take a look at the wall of Liquid Bunny. What does that look like? We've got, 3 barracks. I'll tell you what, those are pretty beefy, man, and you're going to have a lot of Banelings to get through that.
The Marines, but if, of course, he kills the the building before it, or the SCV, you can't actually repair it. So this is a big deal, but the barracks does finish up.
Yep.
And the Baneland should morph in. Is he going to go for the Banelands, or is he just going to defend?
This is a very tense situation. I mean, he's going, well, hang on, the number of Banelings I'm going to need to take down these barracks, how many will I have left to deal with the Marines and the SCVs once I get to the other side? And Snute is saying, okay, fine, I might have to defend this. Those two spine crawlers still picking away.
He's more from Baneland, so he's going to guarantee the bunkers. I thought he was going to run up there, target the SCVs, but they could easily jump into the other bunkers, and that's not exactly what he
with
wants.
this much damage, it's going to be difficult for Bunny to salvage any of them. He'll lose all the Marines.
Blow everything up.
And I mean, the number of workers at the moment is 23 to 24. It's actually in favor of Bunny, and let's not forget he's got a natural expansion to boot.
Absolutely. Here comes the defense, and this is going to be very straightforward. Marines get cleaned up. A couple Banelands will get destroyed there, and it gets help. But like you said, it's one base v 2 base right now. 1-1 upgrades, kind of funky. Maybe he's just going to mass off one base and go for a heavy one base Baneland all in.
I also wonder if he's going to have to do. Maybe Snute's thinking to himself, oh, I'm actually quite far behind here. I need to get my upgrades quickly in case there's any opening where I can do an attack. But the difficult thing about this situation is there's no supply depot. There's no bunker in the wall. Those barracks are very beefy. Okay, he could have, like, I don't know, factories there as well if he wanted to. But it just takes a big investment.
It takes like 15 Banelands.
And right now, he doesn't want to be producing 15 Banelings. He's been behind economically. He wants to drone up as much as possible and get back. And I like this from Snute. He's going to double expand instead and say, okay, potential aggression might not work here. So what I'm going to do instead is say, I don't think you're attacking me again anytime soon. Those barracks are a long-term investment. I'm going to get back into this game by taking my third base.
Absolutely, and this is what you should have. Whenever you're in a position where your natural gets taken out or something like that, you have two options: you either all in or you double expand. You have to take a risk, otherwise, that's just how it goes. There's nothing else that you can really do long term to stay in the game. So, Snute's hoping that this will work out. The drones, nothing's going to spot it, and he's got the creep spec growing quite far down, so that will buy him some time when the attack moves out.
I like that he's constantly moving up and down the ramp with these Zerglings as well, by the way, guys. He's just spotting to see what, if there are any buildings really close to the barracks, but also what kind of tech labs and add-ons are on there as well. Yeah. And this space has not yet been spotted by Bunny, so let's see how long Snute can hold on to it before it's spotted. And we'll keep an eye on that work account as well, because he is still lagging behind, 38 to 44.
Yeah, now, because of how late Stim is, this does buy Snute a lot of time to build drones. He's got his 1-1, and he's going to start his 2-2, and it's going to be an upgrade advantage in his favor for the fight, so that can really benefit him. If he delays his opponent longer because of the creep tumors and stuff like that, it could be 2-2v0-0.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. I mean, they're starting now. In-game timer, of course, 190 seconds on that.
And the EBs haven't even finished yet.
1-1, yeah, exactly. So this could happen. I mean, we've got medevacs coming out now. There's potential for drop play coming out of here from Bunny. He's going to be timing it out with Stim as well. And whoa, that's a lot of units coming out there.
Snute does have to spot this a lot sooner. He needs the units on that side of the map. If he doesn't react, he doesn't see them until they're on the creep, he's not going to have time to build the Zerglings. Okay, now he's adding the Zerglings as a countermeasure, and 2 Banelands just in case, and he will morph more as soon as he sees this get closer.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that as well, because at about 13 minutes 30, he will have Baneling speed finish as well, by the way. So Snute knows, hang on a second, I've got Baneling speed coming, I've got 2-2 on the way. Okay, he'll hit me before 2-2. Can I hold out for Baneling speed? Do I have 1 and a little bit of in-game minutes to hold out for this? How much space can I trade for time here?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a medevac. Stim has finished. The 1-1 is in production. No combat shield, so a Stim and a Baneland doesn't give them much health. It actually nearly kills them. And the Zerglings are going to try and surround them. Nice splits, amazing splits coming out of Bunny there. And that was on creep as well, so that was very well done.
Baneling speed still 40 seconds away. This is going to be an agonizing minute here for Snute. He might end up having to sacrifice this base. The number of Marines here is good, and the splits on them, the pre-splits from our Terran player, knowing that the Banelings are there as well, are just really good. Snute is going to abandon it. His creep spread, though, has been great along the right-hand side of the map. He's just trying to keep the Terran at bay there, force a couple more scans out of them, and he'll make his stand after Baneling speed completes, and he'll have 2-2 very shortly as well. We've got, how long? We have 40 seconds left for 2-2.
Yeah, and it should finish around the same time as 1-1 because it is a 30-second longer upgrade.
Oh, elevator! Target the wrong medevac! He didn't target the right. If he targeted the second medevac with the Spore, he would have got it. So close there. But both medevacs now so low, Pewee, and here we go with failing speed as well. Snute wants to repel this, and he's got 2-2 completing. He's going for a counterattack.
He's going for a heavy counterattack. His army supply isn't that far of a difference. There's only 6 supply, and now the upgrades are finishing. The 1-1 is so close to finishing as well.
Oh my god.
Bunny. There is 20 Banelings morphing outside the natural. 2 tanks are sieging up, so this is going to be very, very hard to break. And
is he going through the barracks here? Is that what he's going to try and do? He has to be so careful about the tanks.
The tank is trying to move closer. Bunny does spot them with the medevacs, and he's rolling up.
Oh, and here we go. He's definitely going for the barracks.
He goes
there.
for the rocks.
Wow, okay, I think that works, and it will. He's streaming into the natural expansion now. The tanks are not quite covering all of the natural. A lot of SCVs are going to go down. Nice splits there, but the Zerglings have completely run amok. 101 supply.
That did not do the damage they needed.
It's not quite enough, though, is it?
No, well, look at the supplies. 55 v 107, 40 workers v 49 Bunny's favor, and 15 army supplies.
Should he have gone for the third base instead and tried to use the Banelings on that bunker, I wonder?
Maybe. The tanks were on the high ground covering it, though, and double tanks against that. He would have maybe got all the SCVs, but he wouldn't have got any other units other than that, and he would have lost all these units pretty fast. So that's a hard call to make.
It's difficult. And 57 to 53 rather to 37 workers as well. I mean, Snute at the moment is lagging behind as far as economy goes as well. So it's looking tough.
He's in a really tough position. There's 2 tanks moving out with us. There's a couple of medevacs, a lot of Marines. Combat Shield has finished. The 1-1 has finished as well. So 2-2 is in production. No 3-3 in production for the Zerg, as of course he has no hive. So this is going to be hard.
Snute's chance here is sniping the tanks. As long as the tanks are sort of stable and on creep, it's really difficult. He's going in before they're completely sieged up. This is about as good an engagement as he can get before those mutas come out, and the Spire's only 2/3 of the way done. Most of the army goes down. Both tanks, however, are still alive, and while those spine crawlers are doing work, they will not be able to outrange a tank in siege mode. That front one as well on 3 hit points, but that's enough with his 22 kills to be a massive asset in Bunny's army.
Look at the reinforcements streaming across the map. Snute doesn't have much in production. He has 4 Banelings, 4 Zerglings, and he's strapped for resources. He does have more Zerglings, and he, to an extent, wants to save up for the Spire, but I think he just cancelled the Spire as he realizes he needs to defend this attack.
Yeah, the third base goes down once again here, and unfortunately it's not looking that rosy. The siege tank just providing such excellent cover fire, nice Baneling hit, but there were 3 of them there and only one of them got a couple of Marines. We're now mixing Marauders into this composition as well, and Bunny is pushing in for the kill.
He really is. The Spire did stay up, but there's nothing on the ground to actually defend here, and GG gets called. Bunny will move on to the finals.
By a scoreline of 3-1, ladies and gentlemen, Liquid Bunny is your victor. Look at him in the booth. He's incredibly happy there with his victory over Snute. Perhaps having to employ some more orthodox strategies after game number 1. We saw a situation.
And a jump on the
He's in the finals, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to Liquid Bunny. Commiserations and great sportsmanship there with Liquid Snute as well, who's had a great run through the tournament. Let's hear it for Snute, guys.
Absolutely. And yeah, I believe Bunny's first major offline finals.
Yep, so Bunny is going to be going up against either MC or Hyun now. It's going to be difficult. But what I think that series highlighted, perhaps the analyst desk will end up talking about it in a bit more detail as well, is the adaptability. I mean, that really was a story in a series there. You saw game number 1. Reapers, no. Reapers, no. Hellions, no. I know exactly what you're doing all the time. He looked completely rattled, and he ended up losing that game.
He did.
And he switched it up, and he adapted it to it, I have to say, better than Snute did there, and Snute was less prepared.
He really did, and then on Nimbus, he went for